Welcome back to the final Own It Masterclass session. This is your Coles Notes recap to help you own it in life and business by design, by owning your mind. And our Own It Masterclass is really a great opportunity for you to do a reset. We've talked earlier last week that there is the law of cause and effect. We are the cause and our results are the effect. And so over last week, we went through really not fixing, because nothing's broken and nothing needs to be fixed. It's okay, awesome, no problem. If you're on drive safe, and we're glad that you're here. And so this is about really doing a reset to really be a conscious co-creator to get the results that you want. There is no power in being a victim, in blame, in shame, in fear, worry, and doubt. And I understand that it is quite often that we can go there during the transformation process and get stuck in the fear, worry, and doubt and want to throw in the towel. We only truly fail when we quit. And so I ask you to find the ways to keep going and owning it. And so let's dive into the review of the masterclass and the workbook. So today we're reviewing the first 3 keys. So own your awareness and ideas, own your thoughts and rewire your brain for success, and then own and plan your winning self-image. There was 5 sessions. So the 4th was action, and we had an open house mastermind session that's not recorded. And of course, we have a bonus free mastermind mixer once per quarter. So that will be back on November 12th. So come and join us. You can register on our website, ownitempire.com. And then we had session 5, which is about building your belief. And this is one of the most important sessions. There's not a workbook with it. So you want to go back and make sure you review that bonus session. And that is so important because we win or lose in the mind first. And unless you believe in yourself and what's possible and believe in your dreams and your capabilities and that you're capable, worthy, and deserving, you most likely will quit. And you'll most likely accept or settle instead of going for what truly sets your soul on fire and what you truly love. And so throughout the masterclass, we kicked off actually with a pre-bonus session, 3 actions to level up your business. So if you haven't done that replay yet, you definitely want to. And now let's dive in. So session 1, first we asked you to create 3 things you wish to gain from this workshop. So how's that going? Did you gain them? Did you gain that new awareness? Did you set new goals? Did you take new actions? How are you going keeping those promises to yourself? Now, of course, we sent you the invite to come and join us inside the Own It Collective, where we help you keep those promises to yourself and we help you own it by design instead of default, and be a conscious co-creator and master yourself and your business. So you can build that dream business around your dream life and not the other way around. Now, if you are not ready for a weekly commitment and a financial commitment for the Own It Collective, we invite you to come and join us inside Success Principles Society. This is such a lower commitment in time, energy, and money. And it is an extension of the Own It Masterclass, where we dive so much deeper into owning your vision, your goals, your mind, your self-image, your high performance habits, and your holistic wellness, our 6 keys for success that all of our clients in the Own It Collective also get, as well as I study with my mastery mentorship clients. This is the foundational training. And without this training, be able to rinse and repeat over and over again, we're often creating by default instead of by design. So whether you're joining us in the Own It Collective or in Success Principles Society, you'll get the opportunity to join us and work on your Quantum Leap Blueprint, which is where you are going to design your life and be focused and prioritized instead of busy and overwhelmed. And this is how we create quantum leap actions instead of incremental gains. Slowly moving forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That can be your old story if you're willing to bet on you and invest in you. It's about a $3,000 difference between the two investments and about 4 to 5 hours time difference between the investments. Regardless of where you are, I want to invite you to bet on you and choose one of those options that are best for you and just say yes to you, because 6 months from now, life could be unrecognizable. Things can be different. You can be having more clients, more freedom, more time freedom, financial freedom, more clarity, because clarity breeds quantum leaps, and so much more. You just have to be willing to do something you haven't done before. So I dare you, come and join us on the inside. So let's dive into our recap. And Ren says, it's worth it, y'all. Trust your instincts, explore the feeling. I love it. Thanks, Ren. Let's dive into aligning with your soul purpose. So if we do not do what we love and we do not live life by design, you will have dis-ease. One of my favorite books is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, and she goes through all the dis-eases and ailments that come because of the limiting beliefs and the negative thoughts. And so we know the study of epigenetics, the biology of belief, every single thought causes a physiological response in our body. So we're either healing ourselves or making ourselves sick. And so what have you been doing? Are you setting yourself up for success and doing more of what you love and living life by design and aligning with your soul purpose? Or are you doing what you think you're supposed to be doing and being realistic and letting your dreams and ideas die inside of you? And so we want to align with that soul purpose. So I asked you, what do you love? This is really all about creating your legacy and your vision, because all successful people are pulled forward by a vision. And if you don't have a vision and a goal, you are wandering aimlessly. And so really start to think about, if you are a spirit at your own eulogy, at your own celebration of life, what do you want people to say? What's that legacy you want to leave? And truly begin to create life by design so you can die happy and fulfilled instead of with regret. Did you know that more than 40% of the population will hit 60 and spend the rest of their life in shoulda, woulda, coulda? And right now, more than ever, entrepreneurs are quitting on themselves and their dreams and their goals because it's hard. Yes, we're in a different economy. Yes, it's a different world. And it doesn't mean that you can quit. It actually means you need to lean in even more. You can no longer function in silos alone in your doubt. You need to be in a conscious community of people playing to win, betting on themselves, who have burned the boats to decide, commit, and succeed. And so once you've decided to commit and succeed to your life purpose, your North Star, what you came here to do, I introduce you to one of my favorite exercises, creating a universal shopping list. So this is something you get to add to all the time. Anything you want to be, do, or have, you put it on your universal shopping list and watch the magic of how it comes to you. Let go and let God. Then we asked you to pick one of the things on that universal shopping list that you want the most, the one that's going to make everything else easy, unnecessary, complete or obsolete, or already achieved. And what, if you haven't thought about that, what's that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference for your quality of life yet? I want you to decide on that right now. This is the thing that you are going to focus on and lean into to complete before the end of this year, so you can set yourself up for success, because what you're doing this quarter, the results will show up for you next quarter. So if you start to get laissez-faire as we get to the end of the year, you're actually setting yourself up for failure to kick off next year. So it actually means lean in, own it by design, and that even means your vacation, your time off, and your holidays. So now that you know what you want the most, the thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you, we ask you to start to create a dream state. So why do you want this? What would it look like and feel like to have it? What will having this allow for you? Now, this is when we start to create a visualization, a vision of that goal achieved. So when you have it, What does it look like? What does it feel like? And most importantly, why do you want it? What does it allow? Because the truth is, it's not really the goal that you want, it's what it allows. The money provides you time freedom to be present with your family, to provide whatever you want for your children, to take them traveling around the world, to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, instead of living life with restrictions. And so it's not really the goal that we want, it's what it allows. So I want you to get emotionally connected to the impact of having this goal. And then we asked you to start observing your thoughts to see what has had you stopped from having this already. That's going to give you an introduction into one of your key limiting beliefs that if you don't change it, nothing will change. So it could sound like I'm too hard, there's not enough time, or it's too hard, there's not enough time, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough. Whatever those limiting beliefs are that are creeping up in your mind that have you stopped from achieving the goal are going to do that for you for the rest of your life. 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are habitually unconscious. Let me say that again. 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are habitual and unconscious. So if we don't start to change them, nothing changes. We introduced you to the unconscious mind. So we set our big, hairy, audacious goal. We picked that one thing that means the most to us that we're going to achieve. And then I asked you, what decisions do you need to make? And what do you need to believe in order to make this a reality? So a decision could look like, hey, you know what? My legs were super tired this morning, but I have a fitness goal. And so I went for a run anyways. Actually, the other day I felt the same. And you know what? I had an incredible run. The hardest part was getting started and getting out the door, owning that willpower and keeping those promises to yourself. So what decisions do you need to make? Is it owning your daily sales and marketing power hour or operations power hour or PR power hour? What are the decisions that you need to make? And what do you need to believe in order to make this a reality? I can take little action and have massive results. I believe in myself. I believe it can be easy. I believe I am worthy. And now you're just starting to give yourself an introduction to belief switching. So we asked you, what had you stopped? And then we asked you, what do you need to believe to make it a reality? And also the decisions, because it's the actions which are going to truly get to what you want. And only in the doing can we figure out what works and what doesn't work. It's in the doing that the magic happens. So you have a conscious and an unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind is running the show. Your conscious mind is the goal setter. So we just set goals, amazing, with our conscious mind. And it's your unconscious mind that's going to allow you to either get the goal or fall shy of the goal or not even remotely reach the goal. And so the unconscious mind is like your computer operating system that was given to you via the model of the world you grew up in. So if you want to build a multi-million-dollar company and you don't have a role model in your life that told you how, showed you how, or even showed you it was possible, you're actually creating something from nothing, like most entrepreneurs, which is amazing. And you actually start to need to retrain that unconscious mind that you can be a successful entrepreneur, that it can be easy, that you can be a millionaire or a multimillionaire or beyond that, and that it can be easy, it can happen quickly, and that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of it. And currently, your current operating system in your unconscious mind has gotten you your current results. Awesome. Congratulations. It's got you here. And that programming is not going to get you there, those new goals you just set. So if you want something different, you have to be different. So how do we do that? Well, we have psycho-cybernetics. So you have an internal set point of your own self-image of what you believe is possible for you. And you need to change that. Otherwise, you will unconsciously self-sabotage and attract the people, experiences, and opportunities to keep bringing you back to the same results over and over again. And this is a really great book if you haven't read it yet, Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's all about the power of thought. And he was a plastic surgeon, and he observed that with some of his clients, he could do one surgery and everything changed. And yet with some, they'd be millions of dollars into surgery and still hate themselves. Why? Because they didn't change the unconscious mind. And so that is your internal set point of your self-image of what you believe is possible for you. So in session 3, we actually started to rewrite that internal set point. Change your self-image and change your life. And you have to begin to embody it to become it. We talked about what is the putrefaction process. This is also called the transformation process. You are currently here and you just decided you're going to go over here and get this goal over here. And guess what? You fell into the putrefaction process. What most people will do, they'll quit and they'll go back to where they were. And this is where dis-ease sets in. And instead, you get an opportunity to actually break down the old version of you and build a new version of you that is capable, worthy, and deserving of achieving that goal. And not only achieving it, having the capacity to keep it, maintain it, and scale from there. And first, you have to work on you. That's why working harder is not the answer. You have to work smarter instead of harder. And that's exactly what this masterclass has taught you to do. So at the end of session 1, day 1, we asked you to pick your top 3 desires that you are going to own for the end of this year. So the first one was that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference. And then you're picking 2 more things off your universal shopping list, a personal and professional goal that you are writing down and you are deciding and committing and burning the boats to achieve this year. There are less than 90 days left in this year. What are you going to do with them? Remember, you are either setting yourself up for failure or success and momentum next year by what you do this quarter. So I'm going to ask that you truly own it by design. Of course, every session has homework and it's all about mindset work. So day 1 was about observing your thoughts, observing which ones are negative, starting to make a mental tally of how many are negative, because in order to be a master manifester, you need to get to 51% or more in possibility, positivity, and focused on the feeling of the goal achieved instead of the feeling of seeking of where is it? How come I don't have it yet? I'm having a pity party about myself and I keep wondering why I don't get it. And yet I'm not working with the power of the brain and the mind and the universal laws. And so as soon as you catch yourself in negative thinking, you go to the contrast of what you would prefer and switch to a state of gratitude. So if you catch yourself in negativity, the first thing to do was switch to something you can be grateful for. And that is one of the simplest ways you can start to change your life and change your mind, to go from a victim state to a hero state and a state of gratitude. We asked you to create a goal card for your big, hairy, audacious goal. Now I have mine. It's in my wallet downstairs, I just realized from earlier. And every time you carry that goal card around with you and you have a visualization that goes along with that goal card and you touch it, see it, feel it, the picture of your goal achieved on your mind comes up. And guess what? Your mind knows no difference between real and imagined. So it will start to filter the information coming in that will actually lead you to help you achieve your goal. Did you know that you're taking in over 11 million bits of information per second? And you're only consciously calculating about 124? And the rest get deleted, distorted, and generalized by the unconscious mind in your reticular activation system. And so if you don't choose where your focus goes and your energy grows, it will be by default of the unconscious mind and what you don't want if that is where your focus is. So we dove into day 2, own your thoughts and rewire your brain for success. So before we go into session 2, does anybody have any questions? And would anybody like any help on working through their workbook from session 1? And so we set our big, hairy, audacious goal. We created a universal shopping list. We started to understand what the unconscious mind is, the self-image, the transformation process is. We set our top 3 goals for the year. And we truly started to observe our thoughts and focus on the positive and continuously reach for a better feeling thought. And so now is your time to get support for me to answer your questions about that. So you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. Again, this bonus session is not casted. It's only recorded for those who are registered to catch the replay. So if you have a question, take it away.
Heather,
Yeah,
is it okay I can just go on audio and ask you a question?
yeah, take it away, Rhett.
Okay. Hi y'all. I'm Ren. I've done this program since last October, and I remember doing my first master class, and I've come such a long way from it. But as I do this for the millionth time over again, and I'm really glad to do it over and over again because there's a part of me, I always learn something about myself. So my help, my what I need support with is the same thing that I went through in the beginning, and I think it's just like versions of the putrefaction process. My ask for you is, um, I initially, even now, like I think when I think of my goal, it's always like, oh, I hear you say like, what would be the one thing? And I always go back to being like, oh, I just want money in my bank account. And I remember that being like the thing I dealt with last year, but I've come a long way from understanding why it is that that comes up in my goal. And my question is to you, is that a bad goal to have to think about right away, like financial abundance? Or should I explore more about what that like why I think of that as my number one goal? Is
So
that
first,
wrong or not? Like I just wanted some clarity on that.
yeah, so first of all, the transformation process is going to be the same every time from one goal to the next. So you're going to set your goal, go through a transformation journey, aka a breakdown to have a breakthrough to get the next goal. And then you set your next goal. And it's the same process over and over again. You just get better at pulling yourself out of the pity parties, out of the negativity, out of the victim state, out of the fear, the worry, the doubt, and you come up and back quicker and own it. And the breakdown often gets a little bit shorter, a little bit easier, and the breakthrough a little bit quicker. So it's just acknowledging that we're in the transformation process again through a different goal. And money is good. Money actually is neither negative nor positive, only the meaning you give to it. And money is energy, and it's meant to be in flow and in flux. And if it's not in your bank account, it's in somebody else's, and who knows what they're doing with it. So you're a conscious entrepreneur, someone who's leaving a positive impact and a legacy of love. And I know that the more money you have, the more good you can do in the world. And so the money is amazing, and having that as a goal is perfect because that might be the thing that changes all other areas of your life. And what I want you to do is get connected to that, the why you want it, what it will allow you to do, how that will change your life, and really get into the feeling of what having that, chunk of cash just show up in your bank account or money come to you in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continual basis feels like. Now, we know the fourth stage of manifesting is action. And in the book, Think and Grow Rich, he asks, what in return will you give for the service? So we say in the book, he says, you say your goal, and then in return for this, I give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest quantity and the best possible quality in the capacity of. And this is your plan. So we know in the law of compensation, we cannot get something for nothing. And unless you're Buddha and you're sitting around and you can 100% embody that goal achieved, the money isn't going to instantly manifest. There needs to be the transformation process. You need to reach the frequency of the version of you that believes you're capable, worthy, and deserving of having it. And you need to create the structures in your life for the money to flow to and through. So setting up the right bank account, setting up the right sales funnels, setting up the right business opportunities, and what have you. And what has a lot of people miss out on some things is we set a plan, which is super important. And yet, the plan may not be what gets you there. It just gets you out of the gate and tells the universe, I'm ready. And then the other people might come in, the right perfect person, circumstance, or opportunity to come your way that actually says, here's the universe, God, source is like, this is a better way. Let me show you. But if we're stuck over here with our original plan, we might actually miss the higher self opportunity that's being delivered to us. And so we create our goal and we marry the goal. And then we create a plan. The plan and the date can change. The goal cannot, right? So we never want to quit unless the goal is adjusting because you've evolved and you want something different. Other than that, you want to think, how many years of conditioning have you had that you're working on overriding? And so it's also being patient with that evolution journey, with that transformation journey, and your success journey. And money is good if that you believe it to be, and you can do so much good with money. And what I want you to get really connected to is not just the number, is what it allows. And then what does that allow? It allows you to pay for your parents' mortgage. They can do more of what they love. And what does that allow? That allows them to spend the rest of their years in retirement, in joy and abundance and excess, and by design instead of in fear and worry and lack. And then what does that allow? That allows them to give more to their family and create better family experiences. And what does that allow? It creates more of a connected family. And what does that allow? That allows for me to be surrounded by people who live in abundance, in a frequency of abundance, and an abundance of joy, which is how life is meant to be. So you came here to be creators. God gave you a gift, and it's called your imagination. And he gave it to you, and you get to create with it. It's just, yes, it's just yet often most of us are using our imagination in fear, worry, and doubt. And so we need to keep that imagination on the creating, the conscious co-creating side of what we desire. And when you can learn to master the creation process, this masterclass was originally called Conscious Co-Creating instead of the Own It Masterclass. When you can learn to master conscious co-creating, that's when you get to live life by design. And so amazing that you have a monetary goal. And I want you to keep it and get more connected to what that monetary goal allows for you. Does that help answer the question?
Oh, so much more. Like the level of increase that you leave me with the type of support. I'm like blissed out right now. Thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, because I think I have this feeling where to want money, this previous programming of like is want money, to be money conscious, to want that for yourself is negative. I don't know where I picked that up from, but I'm so ready to let that go. So every time I want that, I begin to feel bad about it. And then I'm like, that's not a good goal. You should be wanting to be like more altruistic and so forth. But in the end of the day, if I don't have that, that doesn't allow me to get to this stage. And then I just find myself like stuck. So this, like the deeper stuff is really, it's just moving me out of that space. And I'm gonna relearn and like reheal that part with the words that you say, because I connect to that. I don't want millions of dollars of money coming from a bad source. Let me change that. Like cancel next. I do want millions of dollars coming into me because what I want to do with that is amazing stuff for myself, for my family, for my community. And I just want to see that flow. And that's where it was. Like I feel stuck and I wanted to know how to bring that flow in. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got a great exercise for you and everybody else. I want you to, there's two of them. One, and I can't remember where it comes from a book, to spend money. You could take like $100 out and you're going to mentally, you can either take it out or you cannot take it out. But it's good to have it and see it. Mentally spend it over and over and over again, and really get in practice of like spending because you can and because you want to in the way that you want to, instead of from a lack perspective and like, if I spend this and I won't have that. And if you do that like 20 times a day, you'll have spent $20,000, right? Or $2,000. And so you get to practice the art of spending. And then also I want you to practice the art of receiving. And so that looks like literally take a moment and look around in your life and pause and be grateful for everything that involved the exchange of money. And as I'm looking around, that is every single item in this room, this chair, this workbook, the printer, the ink, the pen, the journals, the mirror, the plants. Oh, there's lots of stuff in here, but all of it was in exchange for money. So often we are in the energy of seeking and lack, like we don't have it. And instead of embodying what we can be with that money and finding the gratitude for all that money has already provided for us. So an exercise that we've done previously in the program is when you grabbed a money journal and you started with $1,000 a day and you had to spend it on paper, and every day it doubled. Next day was 2,000, and you'd already spent 1,000 on these items, so now they have to be new items. And so if you want to try that manifesting exercise and start changing the programming around money and really get into an abundant state, because when you get to that $1 billion mark and you're like, how can I spend $1 billion? Because you have to spend that amount every day on paper. And so it's like, how could I? I could feed every single person in this world. Yeah, it's so much fun. And you know what? Maybe we'll kick it off next week inside the program, because I think it's a great exercise to do. And so practicing the art of satisfaction as well as embodying it to become it. So having that state of gratitude. And then I just want to remind you, there are billionaires in this world. Like, there is so much money in flux. And what are most of them doing with it? Do they put people and planet over profit? No, it's often a bunch of board of directors that are running the show. And I can name 3 key companies that basically own everything in your Shoppers, in your Walmart, in your Sobeys, in your all of those stores. You have the illusion of choice because there's multiple products. And if you did your research, you would know almost all of those are owned by like they're 6 shell companies. And if you look at those companies, they're owned by like 3 giant conglomerate financial institutions. And so you have an illusion of choice. And instead, you could actually create a world where people do get choice. People do get to live in abundance. Every single child does have their best chance. There is peace in heaven on earth for the highest good of all. And right now is one of the best times in the world, because you made a soul contract to come here, to be here during this time of one of the greatest transformations humanity is ever going to go through, and an evolution and a level up. And you get to be a part of that transformation and wealth transfer, and putting the money back into the hands of the people who put people and planet over profit and have unity consciousness. And so right now, more than ever, it's actually so important that people like you become successful and truly believe you're worthy. And as Bob would say, there's nothing broken, there's nothing fixed, there's nothing that you need to change right now. You're actually fully worthy of it right now. You just need to embody that frequency that you are, stay in inspired action, and then watch the magic happen. So I hope that was a bonus little extra for everybody listening here in the Zoom room and catching the replay. We're all going to embody it to become it, and practice the art of satisfaction and gratitude, and become ridiculously, incredibly wealthy so that we can build a world of unity consciousness where everyone is given their best chance and there is peace in heaven on earth for the highest good of all. That's the magic sauce. All right, let's dive into day 2. This is all about rewiring your brain for success. Now, this is one of my favorite exercises. We do this and more inside the Own It Collective. It's part of our Quantum Leap Blueprint and our Goal Plan Do review. So it's part of the review section. We look at every quarter and we look at what's not working. And then we reframe so that we can leave what didn't work in the past and bring forward with us what is working and more of what we desire. And so when I asked you what you wanted, and then what has you stopped, that's one of your key limiting beliefs. And so this is what I wanted you to write down. What is your current operating system telling you that's not working for you? So these are all the contrasts in your environment, all the things that are not working that you do not prefer. And then we're going to write them down. Now, the law of cause and effect says all of that is an accumulation of what we've asked for via our thoughts, feelings, and actions previously. And the hardest part here is not to make ourselves bad and wrong, but just to accept everything just is what it is. And it's all perfect, whole, and complete. And you're exactly where you're meant to be. And it's perfect on your journey because it's warming you up for what's to come and building you the right skill set, mindset, and high performance habits to make sure that when you get what you want, you can not only have the capacity to keep it and to grow. And so the first is we have to observe what's not working. So we wrote that down. Then simple and easy, switch. What would you prefer? Then we talked about having to get the learnings from the experience. So in our timeline therapy, where we get to access your unconscious mind and switch your beliefs, which is scientifically proven to change your neurology in 3 to 5 days, we understand that we have to get positive learnings. And so we unconsciously do things in patterns and habitually, and we are often stuck in a limiting belief cycle or trauma cycle, and we keep getting the same thing over and over again. And how do we break that cycle? Is we need to get what the learnings are. And what do you need to learn from this experience so you can stop having it over and over again? And then what do you need to be grateful for about the experience? And what this is going to do is change the energy associated with that previous experience to give it a new meaning to go into the unconscious mind, because it is the experiences that have the most emotion tagged with them, whether it's positive or negative, that are ingrained in the unconscious mind, because the language of the unconscious mind is our energy and our emotions, our feelings. And so we want to get into a state of gratitude about the experience. And sometimes it's literally just, you know what? I'm grateful for the contrast because now I truly know what I prefer. Without darkness, you wouldn't know what light is. Without being broke, you wouldn't know the benefits of being rich. Without self-doubt, you wouldn't know what self-confidence feels like. And so this is how you can be grateful for the experience. So again, 4 key parts to our reframing exercise. What is the contrast? What do you prefer? What is the lesson? And then what is the blessing? The blessing is what you're grateful for. We teach 3 key things each session. And in session 2, we talked about our perception creates our reality. So what does it mean to control your inner world regardless of your external circumstances? So we understand that things are happening on the outside. And here's how most people live their life. Here is what's happening on the outside, and it's going to dictate how I feel, how I act, how I think, and thus the outer world is in control of my inner world, and then my results are actually being conditioned by the people who run the media, and so much more. And so instead, we're actually going to observe the outside world, decide what we prefer, own our mind, and work with what we've taught you this week to be the cause so you can get the effect that you desire. The law of all laws is the law of cause and effect. Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. And if you can choose to be the cause instead of at cause and in blame and shame, and instead be the cause, that means you can be in control of your inner world, regardless of external and past circumstances. We talked about why is language so important for you to choose to describe your reality? Because your language is what gives things meaning. So something happened, and that's it. It just is what it is. And then you gave it a meaning. How do we give it a meaning? The language we choose to describe the experience. Was it good, but was it bad? Was it negative? Napoleon Hill would say, that's good. There's a whole song about that, actually. It goes, that's good. And so Napoleon would say, the building's burning down. That's good. I guess we're meant to have another building, or I guess we're not meant to be in this location. That's good. He always had the concept of everything was working for me instead of against me. And so your language is literally creating your reality. And your language has your thoughts and your speaking, it has a thought impulse. And so the language that we choose actually is creating an energy that is going out into the ether to attract back more of what we want. And the language, our thoughts, are causing a physiological response in the body, either making us healthy and in a state of possibility, in a state of the goal achieved to attract what we desire, or in a state of victimhood and what we don't desire, and then we get more of that. You know, my favorite is the person who says, of course that happens to me. You're right. Of course it is, because you asked for it. And what if instead you chose to expect the best? And when things didn't go exactly as you desired, you understood that's exactly as the way it was meant to be, so that you could get to the next step. And it's the people who expect the best that get it. And that's why the third part was, why is it so important for you to expect the best? Because your expectations are literally having an effect on energy. So Simeon Curley perfected photographing your energetic body before the 60s. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And just because it's not common knowledge doesn't mean it's not true. So scientifically proven, we know you have a magnetic body and an auric body. And this auric body goes 25 to 50 feet in every single direction. So who are you letting in your energy field? We talked about environment earlier in the masterclass. And so when you expect something to happen, you actually are impacting the outcome. And this is the law of observation, and you can look up more on the quantum physics of that. And so it is vital that when you go into something, you actually expect the best instead of expecting and thinking about all the ways it could go wrong. Because what if you gave up the negative what ifs? How much would that change your life? And instead, you stayed in the positive what ifs. What if it all worked out better than I could have imagined? I actually expect that. I expect magic and miracles. So remember, your perception is creating your reality. And so homework for day 2 was to continue with part 1 and observe your thoughts and keep going into a state of gratitude and complete your workbook, as well as part 2 was to reframe the negative thinking. So what's your contrast? What do you prefer? And what's the lesson? And what's the blessing? And to complete the workbook. So any questions on day 2 before we dive into day 3? You will notice that everyone had you. Now, I didn't fill out it in here, and I fill it out in my journal every day. So we asked you to write out your top 3 intentions every single day, the top 3 desires for the year. Why is that? Because you're 40% more likely to achieve it quicker when you write it every day, and 25% more likely to achieve it when you write it every day. So 25% more likely and 40% more quicker. And I told you, if you were willing to burn the boats and decide that this was the only way, there was no plan B, you are now 90% more likely to achieve this. So no more what ifs, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's all in. And there may be different ways that it needs to look to make it happen than what you thought, and that's okay, as long as we don't quit. So now let's dive in to plan creating a winning self-image. And so if there are any chat questions so far, you can go ahead, drop them in the chat, or if you need to, just unmute and let me know. So I'll give you a second. All right, let's dive into session 3. Plan or creating your winning self-image. So of course, we want to make a plan of the actions. And of course, we teach you how to do that inside our community in the Quantum Leap Blueprint. And the first thing I actually want you to start to plan is your self-image. So we talked about having psychocybernetics, an internal set point, an upper glass ceiling of what you believe is possible for you. So imagine in your deep unconscious mind, there's a perfect blueprint of you, perfect health, perfect happiness, perfect wealth, all you desire, and it's all good. Everything, all amazing. And then there was conditioning in society and failures and or perceived failures and struggles and things that started to get on top of it. And now you have a different set point of what you think is possible for you because you were told, no, that's going to be hard. How are you going to do that? No one's done that before. Am I worthy? Am I good? Can I do it? And most people are not willing to build the resilience and the mindset and the tenacity to do what it takes to truly build success. They often run away at the first time of a perceived struggle. And instead, it's actually just a growth opportunity for you. And so if we can see them as a growth opportunity, we can move through them. And in order to do that, to move through them, you need to see that version of you on the other side of this struggle, this obstacle, this growth opportunity of who that version of you is going to be. What are the habits? What are the thoughts? What are the feelings? What's the environment? Who's the people you hang out with? What's the car you drive? What do you wear? How do you speak? How do you hold yourself? What's your standard for yourself? What's your standards for others in your life? What are your healthy boundaries? What is it that you truly deeply desire and why do you want it? Why is it that you want to leave that impact? Why is it that you want to build this business? Who is this version of you? Why are you doing this? And what does this version of you look and feel like? Sense, touch. Who is this new you? You literally need to design a new you that you can begin to embody. Otherwise, 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are habitually unconscious. And you thought you woke up as a free being today, except today is going to be a lot more like yesterday. And now that we understand the science of transformation and neurolinguistics programming, if we don't change, I can take this year's results and put them on top of next year, and they may be 5 to 10% different if you don't change. And so let's dive into planning that new winning self-image. So I asked you to start to ask yourself, what do you currently believe for yourself and what lies are you telling yourself? So what are the things like it's going to be hard, I'm not good enough? What are all those lies? I want you to write them down. And then I want you to look at your life and look at all the glass ceilings that you've been bouncing off of. You wanted more money, you wanted a larger business, you wanted a better partner, you wanted more travel. What are all those areas of your life that have limits on them, that have limiting beliefs backing them that are keeping you where they are? Maybe your family never really traveled, and so you don't believe that that's a possibility for you. You were always told that's too expensive. And instead of seeing the value of the exchange of that and figuring out a way to make it possible, when you decide, you'd be amazed at what magic can make it happen. I wanted to go to Vegas. It took a while for me to make the decision. When I finally made the decision, the flights were pretty much sold out. And if I did want a direct flight, it was wildly pricey and compared to what it was like 6 weeks prior. And it turned out I had a friend who worked at the airline, put me on standby for $250. And she told me, you shouldn't pick that plane. There's only one seat like available, and if it's taken, you would have to wait for another flight, and I don't know what that's going to look like. You should probably take this plane, it's half empty. And I was like, no, I want that one. I want a direct flight and I want to be there at that time on that day. And of course it worked perfectly on the way there and on the way back. And that's where we get to be conscious co-creators and look at where those upper limits are and start to change them because we're conscious co-creators. So first, what are those lies? What do you believe is possible for you? And then what are those upper limits? In order to get to where we want, you actually first have to identify where you are. Okay, so current state, and then we design the future state. Then we can identify the gap and we can work on process improvement for ourselves and our life. And then I asked you, what is it that you'd actually prefer? So not those lies, not those glass ceilings. What is it that you prefer? Maybe it's regularly traveling. Maybe it's closing sales every single day. Maybe it's being a multi-millionaire. Maybe it's buying a new car. Maybe it's buying a new home. Maybe it's, we actually had a client just go through renovations for their home. And another one put a pool in their backyard and make it enclosed and indoor. Like, what is it that you would prefer? And let's make it happen. And first, you have to embody it to become it. So let's create that winning self-image. So if you do not have a model of the world to pull from, which most likely you don't, or you'd already be there, we're going to start to create one. So who are three people you wish to emulate and why? The why is very important because it's what you like about this person that you can start to embody. So I always love to talk about Bob Proctor and how humble he was, how disciplined he was. Boy, that man was disciplined. I love it. He would always say, you know what? Your way's not working. So why don't you try mine? And I was like, okay, Bob, let me try yours. And I started. And although I had to do things I wasn't doing before, and I had to create new containers in my calendar and have more morning journaling and study and gratitude and more reading and more meditation and all these things, and as well as inspired action, of course. And I started doing all the things. And my life has been unrecognizable ever since. Yes, there are always going to be obstacles and growth opportunities because how boring would life be if it just looked like a flat line? Of course, we're going to go through our own evolutionary journeys, and that's going to always be happening. And I can still be disciplined and humble and kind and in a state of possibility as I go through them, just as Bob was. I love how he shared the lesson of how he lost $1 million on an investment where they thought it was going to be amazing. And he did exactly what we did. Well, that's good because now I learned that that's not a good investment and I can do it in a different way. Do you know that he left his first manuscript of You Were Born Rich in the back of a cab, which was handwritten, not typed, and he never got it back? And that turned into a massive seminar and one of the best-selling books ever, which I have signed from Bob behind me. This is the magic that happens when you believe that the universe is working for you. So I love everything about him and I wish to emulate it and create a new model of the world to operate from of how I can be, do, and have just like he did. And so who can you pull from? And how can you be more like that today? So I asked myself, how can I be more humble today? I could be more patient with people. How can I be more disciplined today? Check off everything on my habit tracker and keep all my promises to myself and go to bed on time. What else can I embody? Uh, Owning everything in my calendar and really doing what I said I was going to do and have integrity with my calendar and my actions. And that even includes my rest time and my lunch breaks and not working through them, all the things, right? So you need to start to, not you need to, you get to build a new model of the world and operating system and winning self-image that can really create life by design and help you smash through your glass ceilings and your own upper limits and be a conscious co-creator. You just have to design it first. It's not going to come by magic, although I wish. And so how can you be more like this today to embody that new you? And then you were asked to actually write out a one-page script of who you're being with that goal achieved. So casting yourself out into the future, if you booked your vision casting call, we did that together. Who was that version of you and how were you being? And please write it down there. Our three key tips that we talked about creating winning self-image was one, praxis. Okay, now you envisioned it, but now we need to embody it and we need to integrate our beliefs with our behavior. So now you believe it's possible for you. Now you believe in yourself and your goals. What behaviors, what actions are backing those beliefs? Until those two are intertwined, nothing changes. You're like, I'm going to be a millionaire, but you never asked anyone to buy from you. Guess not going to happen. I am capable, worthy, and deserving. Yet you're not willing to put yourself out there and do PR because you're making it about you and denying all the people that need you out there. And what else can we integrate? Our belief in ourselves and what's possible. We'd actually probably take the actions that we know we need to do that we don't do because the limiting beliefs have us self-sabotaging. And so what beliefs and what actions do you need to integrate? And then while you're doing it, you want to what? Embody it to become it and enter the spirit of it. So entering the spirit of it means to, before you do anything, you'd actually sit and imagine as if it's all already worked out perfectly. And how does that version of you feel, think, act, talk, show up? And how do you begin to enter the spirit of the goal achieved every day instead of bringing more of the old in and creating more of the old? That does mean you are going to be required to show up differently than you have in the past. And that's amazing. You get to show up as that new version of you with your goal achieved every day. Most people say, when I, then I'll. That's not how it works. You must embody it, and then the things will come. When I have the money, then I'll take the course. Actually, you need to decide you're going to take the course. You need to embody the version of you that would be able to, that would show up, be capable, worthy, and deserving of doing the course, and then the money will show. Until you decide and embody it, nothing happens. And then we asked you, what new beliefs and habits would you like to implement into your life now? So what will move you closer to your goals? So I am worthy. So now you're actually going to write it out. So I am worthy. What action would you take? Well, I would go live every day for the next week and promote myself and start to get my channels in the algorithm. I would book 3 PR a week. I would be consistent with my social media calendar. I would do paid ads. What's another belief? I am worthy. Well, you would show up. I am worthy of being a millionaire. How does that millionaire version of you or multimillionaire version of you, and I'm talking about like in your business, earning more than $1 million in your business. Because yes, you have assets and all the things. And so you may already be on paper net worth a millionaire. And have you earned $1 million in your business yet? Let's get that to be a goal. And so earning $1 million in your business is easy. That's a new belief. What actions need to go along with it? We're actually asking people, we're selling every day, and we're doing it with joy and an expectancy of, and with ease. And so only when we use praxis, integration of our beliefs and our behaviors, our habits, while we're entering the spirit of it, can we truly begin to embody it, to become it, and become conscious co-creators. So your homework for day 3 was to continue to observe your thoughts, continue going to a state of gratitude if you catch yourself negative, reframe the limiting beliefs, and then begin to embody the version of you with your goal achieved today instead of someday. When I get the goal, then I'll act like that. That's not actually how it works. When you show up today, like that multi-million, trillion, billionaire that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of, then the people, places, circumstances, and opportunities come your way. It really works every time, actually. Pretty interesting. I love the brain and the universe. It's amazing. You get to be a creator. Isn't that so much fun? So your homework for part 3 was to continue part 1 and part 2, and then to make a self-image mood board. So I showed you mine. And of course, we have a guest lecture lesson in the program that will help you with that, on how to build a mood board and show up as a woman on your vision board. And so what does this new you do, be, and have? I want you to put that on this mood board. And you're going to write your 1-page script that goes along with your vision board, and you're going to complete the workbook. So now you're going to have a goal card for your life purpose. You're going to have 3 top desires for this year. You're going to have a new self-image, and you're going to have a self-image script and mood board that goes along with it. And that, my friends, is priceless. This is the magic that can change your life if you allow it to do. And guess what? Super easy to do. Also, super easy not to do. You get to decide. Are you going to work smarter and not harder? Are you going to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Now, that, my friends, is the definition of insanity. And so it's time to change our thinking, our feelings, and our actions so that we can get new results. And I want to thank everyone who joined us in the action session, in our fourth session in the Mastermind Mixer. Always amazing. Come back for our next one on the 12th of November. Thank you for those who joined us in our belief session, where we worked on the art of sales, as well as building our belief in ourselves and our dreams. I want to thank everyone who's booked their vision casting calls so far or is still to come, because in these sessions, and I ask that you book it in a time that you can be present and undisturbed. This is a vision casting call, so I cannot guide you through a guided visualization if you are multitasking, which there is no such thing. And so we ask that you come to that session prepared to expand on what you desire with me, and then I'll guide you through that goal achieved so that you can truly embody it to become it and keep building on that. And so the replays are up all month long. So if you haven't booked your vision casting call, that's still available. And I just want to thank you guys so much. So any questions so far on all of that? Ren says, thank you. Amazing recap. Got me flowing again after this long weekend, right? We got to fill your cup before you can pour into others. So the Own It Masterclass is all about filling our cup and living life by design and being conscious co-creators. So own our mind so we can create life and business by design. And so if you are ready to take your life and your business to the next level, we're going to invite you to come inside the Own It Collective. Now, I extended, at the request of some people, I extended our fast action bonuses. So those actually go away today, and then there will be just the October sign up bonuses. So we do have different bonuses for pay in full and payment plan options. So you can choose which is best for you, whether it's the pay in full of $3,330 Canadian tax included, or you can do the payment plan of $555 per month. Now, with these, you are going to get incredible bonuses, coaching calls with me. When you're signing up today, you're going to get over $3,000 in sign-up bonuses when you pay in full. That gives us 5 sessions together and a belief switching session. Amazing. Specifically where we'll get to do timeline therapy together. And I know that the version of you that comes out of that is going to be amazing and just jumpstart your success. If you're joining us and paying in full, we have over $2,000 in sign-up bonuses. Both of these are one-on-one coaching. So with the pay in full, you're going to get 5 calls with me. With the payment plan, you're getting 4 calls with me. And these are going to be my gift to you, so that you can have one-on-one support with me for the entire 6 months through the Own It Collective. Again, this is my gift to you because I truly want to see you be successful, and I truly want to see you expand, and I want to see you leave your positive impact and legacy of love and live life by design. So this is my gift to you, and those fast action bonuses go away today. Otherwise, after tonight, it is 2 bonus coaching calls with each of those. Pay in full, they're 90 minutes, and payment plan, they are less. So thank you guys so much for joining us in the Own It Masterclass. It's one of my favorite things to do and teach, and this will be the last time we teach it like this way. We will be coming back with Business Bliss going forward. And so I just want to thank you for your time and energy, for going all the way through with us. Your time is the one thing you don't get back, and you chose to spend it with us and spend it on you. And I am so proud of you, because most people will just stay in the busy action and keep working harder instead of smarter. And I did that for like a decade. And I promise you, working harder is not the answer. And so we want to invite you to come and level up and really, really, truly start to improve your quality of life, increase your income and your impact through the Own It Collective. Now, in the Own It Collective, one of the sign-up bonuses that you get, regardless if you're paying in full or payment plan, is Success Principles Society. So these are our 6 key self-mastery principles where we teach you how to become conscious co-creators and live life by design. And you can apply this in your life and your business. And these are self-study course sessions that you can study independently, as well as there's a monthly co-working mastermind session where you can get support with me. And so when you're signing up for the Own It Collective, you actually get that included. Now, if you are looking for something that maybe is going to be your leap pad to go into the Own It Collective, maybe you're a little strapped for time, money, and energy, and all the things right now, then Success Principles Society is the perfect place to start. You heard earlier last week where one of our clients said she did the class, the master class, thought she was going to go and do it all on her own, came back to the next master class and signed up right away because she realized that with mentorship, with accountability, with community, it is so much easier to get what you want and the way you want it, and quicker and more joyful than doing it alone in a silo, doing the same thing over again and hoping for a different result. And so if you are ready to jump in and you wanted to join us in Success Principle Society, there is a one-on-one kickstart call that you get whether you pay in full or a payment plan. And so that will still give us time together. And so I would highly recommend, and I know that you're ready to come and join us in the Own It Collective. If you don't have enough time, that's exactly why you want to be in there, because we will teach you how to reinvent your calendar. You heard Amanda earlier this week say that's the favorite thing she learned in her over a year working with us. If you don't have enough money, then that's exactly why you need to come in here, because you need to learn a structured formula to own your sales. If you don't have enough time, enough money, enough energy, then let us show you how, because you have to start filling your cup before you're filling everybody else's. And a lot of the times I hear, you know what, Heather, I just don't think it's going to work for me. And that's so sad, because you're letting your dreams and ideas die inside of you. And I know that it can work for you, as we've been doing this with entrepreneurs for half a decade online specifically. And I've been using principles like this for a decade and a half to help people create life by design and make their dreams become a reality as a conscious entrepreneur. And then, you know what? I hear a lot of people say, it might work for that person, not for me. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. You know what? I just don't believe you. Well, you heard testimonials from clients over the past week to tell you that it does work, as well as we have tons of testimonials on our website to show you that the positive impact studying with us can have on your life. So I dare you, go ahead and jump in today. Those fast action bonuses go away today. And I want to thank you guys again so much. I love teaching this masterclass, and this is the last time we're going to teach it live for free like this. And so you're so lucky to have been here, especially live with us. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us. And may you expect magic and miracles, and stay happy, healthy, and wealthy. And if you're looking about how you can work with us, you'll find it all on ownitempire.com. You can check out the Own It Collective, Success Principles Society, Mastery Mentorship, and so much more, our free events, and come and join us back in our November free Mastermind Mixer. So have a beautiful and blissful day and October, and stay happy, healthy, wealthy. And remember, what's the best that can happen? We'll see you guys on the inside. Thank you. You're
Thanks so
very welcome.
much.
You're welcome. Very welcome, everybody. My pleasure. Thank you.